somewhere between the ache in your knees and the tightness in your shoulders. Keeping a tidy home stops feeling like routine upkeep and starts to feel like navigating a daily obstacle course. You see the crumbs under the table, the fog on the bathroom mirror, the spider web tucked in the ceiling corner. But the idea of bending down, stretching up, or lugging a heavy bucket makes your body protest before you even begin. And it's not just frustrating, it's risky. One awkward reach, one misstep, and suddenly you're on the floor, wishing you just left that dust where it was. This is where wisdom steps in, where we learn to make life support us, not fight against us. I'll be honest, there was a ceiling fan in my den I ignored for nearly 3 months just to avoid climbing a step stool. Today, I want to share practical, age-friendly cleaning strategies that protect your body, conserve your energy, and keep your space fresh. Some involve tools. Some are simple habits. And one isn't even about cleaning, but it might be the most important for your safety and peace of mind. 1. The baseboard breakthrough. Have you ever noticed how dust seems to gather in the hardest to reach spots? The tops of ceiling fans, the crown molding, and especially the baseboards that run like a silent border around every room. For many people, these areas go untouched, not from laziness, but because reaching them feels like a threat to your back and knees. Clara, who is 74, used a joke that her baseboards were coated in vintage gray from all the dust. Years of lower back discomfort had taught her that kneeling or crouching always came with a cost. That changed when her grandson brought her a long-handled duster with a flexible head. I cleaned the entire hallway in under 10 minutes, she told me, and I didn't bend over once. Her voice carried both surprise and pride. Extended reach tools like this aren't just clever gadgets. They extend your reach safely, letting you clean high and low while keeping your feet firmly on the ground. Telescoping dusters can glide around fan blades or into ceiling corners. Mops with built-in spray systems mean no more dragging heavy buckets across the house. Angled brooms paired with long-handled dustpans eliminate the need to bend every time you sweep. The first time I used one, I actually paused mid-task and thought, why have I been hurting my back all these years? I almost wanted to thank the broom. With the right tools, cleaning shifts from a struggle to a smooth, safe routine. And here's the added benefit. When you remove the strain and the danger, you're more likely to stay consistent. That means your home stays cleaner, without exhausting effort. Safety and ease shouldn't be luxuries. They should be part of everyday life. 2. The handle that hurts before you start. It's surprising how much a simple handle can decide whether cleaning is comfortable or painful. For people with arthritis, stiff joints, or weak grip, holding a narrow, hard brush can feel like squeezing a brick. My neighbor Daniel, a retired violinist with decades of delicate handwork behind him, said using a regular scrub brush felt like shaking hands with a pine cone. He began cleaning his counters and had to stop within minutes because of the sharp pain in his fingers. That's where ergonomic tools make all the difference. Ergonomic means a tool is shaped to fit your hand naturally. A scrubber with thick, padded grip absorbs pressure instead of transferring it to your joints. A spray bottle with a wide, easy squeeze trigger reduces strain on your fingers. Brooms and mops with straight handle grips keep your wrists in a neutral position, lowering long-term stress. Even switching to microfiber cloths helps. They trap dirt so well, you don't need to scrub hard. Daniel eventually replaced his entire cleaning set with ergonomic tools. He told me, for the first time in years, I finished cleaning my kitchen and still had the energy to bake a loaf of bread. That's the kind of change we're aiming for. Small, affordable changes that turn a painful task into a manageable one. I once traded my old plastic spray bottle for one with a cushioned grip. I'm not exaggerating. My hands felt 10 years younger. The right handle isn't just about comfort. It's about keeping your ability to do what you need without fear of pain. 3. The standing trap. It's easy to underestimate how draining standing can be until you feel it in your legs and back. At first, it's a dull ache in your calves. Then stiffness spreads to your lower back. Finally, that deep exhaustion sets in and you just want to sit down. For anyone dealing with joint pain, nerve issues, or balance concerns, standing for long periods isn't just tiring. It can be dangerous. Mabel, who is 79, told me she used a stand for every cleaning task because that's how she was taught. She'd wash dishes, wipe counters, scrub the sink, and sweep, all on her feet. By the end, her legs ached, her back was tight, and she needed over an hour to recover. She started skipping chores because she knew how she'd feel afterward. Everything changed when she brought a small rolling stool into her kitchen. She bought on sale without much thought, but once she tried it, she never went back. Now she sits to rinse vegetables, rolls to the counter to chop, and glides to the sink to wash dishes without constant pressure on her legs. In the bathroom, she uses a stool to clean lower cabinets and tiles, staying steady and avoiding the bending that used to leave her sore. You don't need anything fancy. A sturdy bar stool, a kitchen chair, or a rolling seat will work. The key is positioning it so you can reach your workspace without twisting or leaning too far. Folding laundry from a chair, dusting tables while seated, or organizing drawers from a stable position can all be done with less strain. I tried this myself one afternoon while polishing the lower shelves in my den. I'll admit, I felt a bit odd at first, like I was slacking off, but by the end, I'd done twice as much without that familiar ache in my legs and back. Sitting while cleaning isn't laziness. It's about making sure you can keep doing these tasks tomorrow without wearing yourself out or risking a fall. When you protect your energy, you give yourself room to enjoy more than just getting through the day. You can finish cleaning, stand up steady, and still have strength left for the things that matter most. That's not cutting corners. That's choosing longevity. 4. The bend you'll regret later. It always happens when you're in a rush. You drop something small, a sock, a letter, a pill, and suddenly it feels like it's vanished into another dimension. For many of us over 60, bending down isn't a simple motion anymore. It can trigger a sharp pain in the back, a pull in the hips, or a dizzy spell that makes you grab for support. And reaching up for a high shelf carries just as much risk of losing balance. Arthur, who is 82 and has had both knees replaced, learned the hard way that small movements can lead to big consequences. After nearly falling while reaching for a drop spoon, his daughter bought him a reacher, also called a grabber. It's the most useful tool in my home, Arthur told me. He now keeps one in every main room. If a sock slips behind the washer, he hooks it in seconds. If he spots a cobweb in the ceiling corner, he wraps a cloth around the grabber's claw and wipes it clean. No ladder, no pain, no problem, he said with a smile. A good reacher adds 2 to 3 feet to your reach. That means no crouching for floor items and no tiptoeing for high shelves. For cleaning, it can pick up debris before vacuuming, guide a cloth into tight spaces, or even help load a front-loading washer without bending. The first time I used one, I wandered around the house looking for things to grab. This isn't about being lazy. It's about removing unnecessary strain and avoiding injury. Every bend you skip is one less chance for a fall or muscle strain. And when you take that risk away, you gain more freedom to move without fear. 5. When the air you breathe works against you. Sometimes the danger in cleaning isn't movement. It's what's in the air. Lila, who is 75, developed breathing issues in her late 60s. For years, she used the same store-bought sprays, but she started noticing that seconds after spraying, she'd cough and her chest would tighten. I thought cleaning was supposed to make my home healthier, she told me. The truth is, many commercial cleaners contain harsh chemicals like ammonia or bleach, which release fumes that irritate the lungs, eyes, and skin. For older adults, especially those with asthma, allergies, or lung conditions, these fumes can turn a simple chore into a health risk. Lila's solution? She went back to basics. She began making her own cleaners with white vinegar, baking soda, and water. For glass encounters, she mixes equal parts vinegar and water in a spray bottle. For sinks and tubs, she uses a paste of baking soda and water to scrub gently. These solutions are cheap, effective, and leave no chemical odor. The first time I swapped bleach for vinegar, my kitchen smelled like a salad for an hour, but I didn't cough once. And that's the point. Cleaning shouldn't harm you in the process. Natural cleaners can be used without gloves or masks. You control what goes into them. No mystery ingredients. By removing toxic fumes, You protect your lungs, skin, and long-term health, and create a home that's truly safe to breathe in. 6. When the job feels too big to handle. There's a kind of fatigue that doesn't come from doing the work. It comes from thinking about it. For many people over 60, the idea of cleaning the whole house drains energy before a single chore begins. You look at the kitchen, then the bathroom, then the living room, and it feels like staring at a mountain with no path. Helen, who is 81, used to spend her Saturdays trying to do everything at once. By afternoon, she was exhausted, sore, and frustrated that she'd only finished half. One day, her daughter suggested a new approach, 1 task per day. Monday was dusting shelves. Tuesday was wiping counters. Wednesday was vacuuming one room. Helen was doubtful. It felt like too little, she admitted. But by week's end, her home was cleaner than it had been in months. And she hadn't felt that crushing fatigue. She realized that by breaking it down, she wasn't just staying on top of cleaning. She was actually enjoying it. You can do the same. Pick one small chore each day, something that takes 15 minutes or less. Maybe it's cleaning the mirror, sweeping the porch, or wiping the dining table. Keep a simple list on your fridge and check off each task. I love the satisfaction of crossing something off. This isn't lowering standards. It's pacing yourself so you can maintain them. It changes the mindset from, I have to do everything, to, I can do this one thing today. That shift can turn dread into action. 7. Knowing when to let go. Some chores aren't just tiring. They carry hidden risks. Climbing a ladder, leaning over the tub, lifting heavy furniture. These aren't just tasks. They're potential accidents. Franklin, a widower in his late 70s, understood this only after a close call. He'd always taken pride in a spotless home, every shelf dusted, every window clear. It was his way of proving he was still capable. One Saturday, he tried to move a heavy armchair to sweep underneath. It caught on the rug. He pulled harder, lost balance, and stumbled. His hand grabbed the wall just in time. He stood there, heart racing, realizing how close he'd come to falling. That afternoon, he called a friend and asked for a cleaning service. They agreed to come monthly for deep cleaning, scrubbing tubs, washing windows, moving furniture. The first time they left, Franklin walked into his spotless study and felt a lightness he hadn't known in years. I didn't realize how much it weighed on me, he said later. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's protecting your strength and safety. It's saving your energy for things only you can do. Making tea, tending your garden, cooking a meal. Letting go of risky tasks doesn't mean losing independence. It means gaining more of it. Help can come from family, neighbors, or professionals. Even a few times a year, the peace of mind is priceless. The goal isn't to prove you can do everything. It's to make sure you can keep doing something safely, comfortably, and for as long as possible. Handing over a few hours of cleaning might be the smartest, bravest choice you make for your health and home. 8. When the house feels overwhelming. There's a heaviness that settles in before you even pick up a cloth. You look around. Crumbs on the counter, water spots on the mirror, dirt on the floor, dust on the shelves. And suddenly it's not one job, it's everything at once. Dorothy, 78, knew that feeling well. For years, she cleaned the whole house every Saturday. By midday, she was moving slower, her back aching, her knees protesting. By evening, she was sore and frustrated, with half the list still undone. It felt like I was losing a race I never entered, she said. Her neighbor suggested a change, 1 or 2 small tasks a day. Dorothy laughed. That's not cleaning, she said, but she tried it. Monday, wipe the bathroom sink. Tuesday, dust the shelves. Wednesday, vacuum the hallway. By Friday, her home was cleaner than in months, and she wasn't exhausted. James, 80, took it further. He hung a small chalkboard in his kitchen and wrote 1 task each morning. It's like giving myself a mini mission, he said, and erasing it feels like a victory. Best feeling in the world. 9. The power of prevention. For Clara, 77, cleaning felt like chasing storms. Every time she finished, another mess appeared. Her back ached from vacuuming. Her hands stiffened after scrubbing. She was tired of always playing catch-up. One afternoon, sipping tea, she noticed gravel and leaves on the entry rug. Again, she'd vacuumed it the day before. "Why am I cleaning this spot every day?" she muttered. That's when she realized the mess wasn't starting inside. It was being tracked in. She made small changes. A sturdy mat outside scraped off dirt. A soft, washable one inside caught the rest. She added a bench and a basket for shoes. In the kitchen, she used placemats and a liner in the fridge. When a milk jug leaked, she simply rinsed a liner. No back-twisting scrubbing. "That took 2 minutes," she said, shaking her head. "And I didn't hurt my back." In the bathroom, she kept a microfiber cloth on the sink. After washing hands, she wiped the water spots, a few seconds that save her from deep cleaning later. "I used to chase messes," she said with a grin. "Now I stop them before they start." Within weeks, her home stayed cleaner, with less effort. Floors stayed clear. Counters stayed fresh. Fatigue faded. Prevention wasn't about doing more. It was about setting up her home to resist mess. With each small system, she gained control over her space, her time, and her energy. 10. The courage to ask for help. Some chores don't just drain you, they test your safety. Carrying a vacuum upstairs, scrubbing deep into the oven, moving furniture, they seem small. But for an older body, each carries risk. For Henry, 84, it took a near fall to see it clearly. He valued order, spotless floors, streak-free windows, pristine counters. It was pride. It was proof he was still capable. One afternoon, he carried a vacuum upstairs. Halfway up, his foot caught the step. The machine tipped, dragging him off balance. He gripped the railing, heart pounding. He stood there, realizing how close he'd come to falling and how hard it might be to get up. That evening, he made a decision. When his niece visited, he asked hesitantly if she could handle the upstairs vacuuming. She agreed instantly. "It's nothing," she said. But to Henry, it was everything. "It felt strange," he admitted. "Like I was giving something up." Then he realized what he was gaining. Peace of mind. Now he handles downstairs. She takes care of upstairs. The rhythm works. He maintains pride in his home without the shadow of risk. Asking for help wasn't weakness. It was a choice to stay safe, so he could keep living life on his own terms. And in that choice, he found a deeper kind of independence. Not from doing everything alone, but from protecting what matters most.